Welcome to today's Explainer. If you're gearing up to step onto a university campus for the first time, you're about to enter a totally new world. And let me tell you, knowing the syllabus, that's really only half the battle. Think of this session as your ultimate toolkit for not just surviving, but actually thriving in higher education and beyond. We're looking at the absolute foundation of both your academic and personal success. So let me ask you a question right off the bat. You've got the grades, you've done all the late night studying, but is being book smart enough to guarantee your success in university? It's super easy to assume that raw intelligence alone will carry you right across the finish line. But, well, here's the reality check. Raw intelligence is literally only half the equation. The other half, the crucial bridge that connects what's in your head to the rest of the world, is exactly what we're going to focus on today. Okay, let's dive into this, because this definition represents a massive paradigm shift. When most of us hear the word communication, we picture ourselves just talking at someone. But true communication, it's strictly a two-way street. It's the complete process of sending, receiving, and, most importantly, understanding information, thoughts, or feelings between people. The absolute non-negotiable rule here is that communication is only effective when the receiver understands the message exactly the way the sender intended. If they don't get your meaning, you haven't actually communicated at all. Today, we're unlocking 4 core areas. Number 1, defining true communication. Number 2, the 4 ways we communicate. Number 3, the 4 core skills. And finally, number 4, your key to success. Part 1, defining true communication and why it really matters. Communication is arguably one of the most important life skills you can develop, simply because it affects almost every single aspect of your life as a student. Think about the real stakes you're going to face on campus. How are you going to ask a professor a question in a massive lecture hall of 300 people? How will you make sure you fully understand complex assignment instructions? Or what about collaborating on a group project without it ending in a massive argument? We communicate constantly, whether we speak, write, listen, read, gesture, or even when we remain totally silent. And this is exactly why being intelligent alone just isn't enough. You have to be able to communicate that intelligence effectively. Moving on to part 2, the 4 ways we communicate and how you express yourself. First up, we have verbal communication. That's the use of spoken words. Your classroom discussions, oral presentations, chats with friends, and eventually job interviews. But on the flip side, we have nonverbal communication. This is everything that happens without spoken words. It's your facial expressions, your tone of voice, your posture. Now, there is a deep irony to watch out for here, and this brilliantly illustrates it. You might verbally tell a classmate you're super happy to work with them, but if you're standing there folding your arms across your chest and actively avoiding eye contact, well, your nonverbal cues are completely contradicting your verbal message. Your body language absolutely must match your words because people will believe your body language over your voice every single time. The third vehicle is written communication. As a university student, you need to be highly prepared for this because higher education relies heavily on the written word. We're talking assignments, exam answers, lengthy research projects, and yes, even how you email your lecturers. Believe me, sending a typo-written 2 a.m. panic-written email to a strict department head leaves a very different impression than a well-structured professional message. It's not just about getting words on a page. Good written communication must be clear, well-organized, grammatically correct, and easy to digest. Finally, we have visual communication. And you're going to see this everywhere, in your textbooks, during lab work, and up on the screen during lectures. Things like charts, graphs, and infographics are incredible because they take a massive, complicated data set and turn it into something you can actually process in seconds. They simplify the complex stuff, making learning vastly more engaging and accessible. Part 3, the 4 core skills. These are absolutely fundamental to your success. These 4 skills are fundamental to both education and everyday life, and they are totally interconnected. We start with speaking. Remember, speaking is so much more than just talking. It's the ability to express thoughts, ideas, and opinions confidently. It involves carefully choosing your words, organizing your thoughts logically, and really respecting your audience. In university, this is the skill you're going to rely on to successfully defend your projects, participate actively in seminars, and develop your personal leadership skills. So, what do you need to do when you inevitably have to step up in front of your class for a presentation? Well, first, think before you speak. Then, deliver your words clearly and confidently. Use polite language, maintain appropriate eye contact with your peers and your professor, and deliberately speak at a moderate pace.
rushing through your words out of sheer panic, that is the quickest way to lose your audience. Just take a breath, speak at a moderate pace, and hold that eye contact. Keep this insider advice in your back pocket every time you speak up in class. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the profound distinction it makes. Hearing happens naturally if your ears are functioning, but true listening, that requires intense concentration and active effort. It's crazy how many communication breakdowns on campus happen just because students are only listening to reply. They're just waiting for their turn to speak instead of actually listening to understand the message. To make sure you truly understand your lectures and avoid crucial misunderstandings, you need a solid step-by-step process. Step 1, pay full attention. Step 2, avoid unnecessarily interrupting the speaker. Step 3, if something isn't clear, ask questions for clarification. Step 4, observe both the words they're saying and their body language. And finally, Step 5, give appropriate feedback. Seriously, following these steps will radically transform both your relationships and your academic comprehension. Our third core skill is reading. A university education requires an incredibly extensive amount of reading. We're talking lecture notes, dense textbooks, complex research articles, course outlines, the whole shebang. But effective reading isn't just about pronouncing the words on a page in your head. It's about deeply understanding, interpreting, and critically evaluating the written information right in front of you. Students who master effective reading habits don't just stare at words. They hunt for meaning. They identify key ideas, analyze the information, and think critically about the implications of what they've just absorbed. When you master this, you completely empower yourself to learn independently. You'll retain knowledge vastly more effectively, and as a direct result, you'll perform much better academically, for sure. Let's move on and see how this builds directly into our final core skill, writing. Reading takes information in, right? Well, writing puts your brilliant ideas back out into the world. This is the ability to communicate ideas clearly through written words. It is exactly how you'll express the vast amount of knowledge you've gained in essays, practical reports, research projects, and those high-stakes exams. When you're drafting that final term paper, or even just sending an official email to your department head, your writing must be clear, concise, well-organized, grammatically correct, and perfectly tailored to your intended audience. And I really want you to remember this. These specific traits aren't just academic hoops you have to jump through to pass a class. No way. Strong writing skills are incredibly highly valued in professional careers. Perfecting this now is literally building a bridge to your future career. Part 4. Your key to success and how all of this works together. So the crucial point here is that communication is not an isolated event, and these skills definitely don't operate in a vacuum. Speaking, listening, reading, and writing work together powerfully. They help you understand complex information, express your brightest ideas, solve difficult problems, and collaborate seamlessly with others. Making a deliberate effort right now to improve these habits will not only skyrocket your academic performance, but it will directly prepare you to become a highly responsible professional and a super effective leader in society. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to carry with you. You now know that intelligence alone isn't enough, and you have the blueprint for effective communication. So I challenge you, how will you actively apply these 4 core skills, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, on your very first day of university? Are you going to raise your hand confidently? Will you actively listen to a new friend instead of just waiting to speak? The choice is entirely yours, and your communication journey starts right now.